So Chris, another area of the business that you guys focus on is middleware. Now middleware is probably the most unsexy technology in the world. By its very nature, it's buried in the middle of, the source and the outcome. How are you guys finding the conversation at C-level around, because obviously that's where a lot of the IT spend is being authorised now. How are you finding that conversation, and how are you sort of going and having that conversation?
Well, I think you're right, David, there, in so much as it is unseen. It's a little bit of an unsung hero, is middleware, to be fair. But it is the glue that stitches the back office to the front office together. And where we're looking at things like digital transformation, for example, it's absolutely critical. So a lot of organisations are looking at how they reinvent themselves, become a little bit more disruptive, and certainly open themselves up to providing more information to third parties, customers and suppliers. And in doing that, they're starting to make use of things like APIs.
Fantastic. I mean, we've done loads on the API economy before, haven't we? And
We have indeed.
so, I mean, how are you guys getting involved? How are you selling APIs? What sort of business cases or examples have you got around where you've delivered APIs before to a customer? Is it one of these technologies that's not necessarily that well understood or thought of or valued from a customer at the moment?
Yeah, I think at the moment, so a lot of customers are exposing services. Their head around monetization of APIs and things like that is still, in some cases, a little bit out there in the future, opposed to other organisations that are more advanced, and they have a very clear API strategy in terms of the direction they're going, and maturity about how they're managing those APIs and monetizing those APIs moving forward.
So it's part of what you do is it showing the client the art of the possible and putting that foundation in place so that they can absolutely adapt to future requests and requirements and new apps coming into the business and new services being provided to both internal and external customers.
It is. Part of it is making that business more agile, being able to take the handbrake off and for them to move at a faster speed, but equally putting a clear roadmap in place so that they have an idea of what destination they're aiming for.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Chris. That's been really, really interesting.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
Richard.
Cheers.
Cheers.